So we'll read through the passage we got. Let every human being remake himself. Let us understand that we live not for money making, not for fulfilling our wants, not for scholarly and intellectual pursuits, but for spiritual development. Effects of karmas of the past have to be effaced with karmas backed by Prema. Every karma must have a background of Prema. It is only in this world that spiritual progress can be made. Annihilation of the ego and dissolution of desires can be made here and now. Conquer desires, the little I feeling, vasanas, fancies, vikaras, passions, raga, attachment, and dvesha, aversion. All these have built this world of appearances and illusions. Fill the heart with the light of prema so that the evil qualities of hate, greed, and conceit find no place therein. In winnowing, the dry outer coverings are separated from the grain. So too you should separate the bad thoughts and emotions from the good and healthy ones. From this Shankranti day onwards, walk along the flowery path shown by Sai. Receive in full Sai's grace and love. Sai is your Hridaya Sthai, indweller of the heart. Sai is the one who blesses your life with peace. Sai is the one who grants your wishes. It is this Sai who is your Thai, mother. Blessings. It was a Shankranti Day's talk. So this was question 2. What do you do to separate the chaff of bad thoughts, emotions from the grain of healthy ones, so you can experience Sai's ever-present grace and love? Brother Rama?
Sai Ram, sister. Thank you.
Sai Ram.
This question there has got these overpowering words there. Very attractive, very loving. That is, everybody, every human soul has got an entitlement, and that is grace and love. You can work towards grace and love. With grace and love, many things, many problems, many issues can be overcome in the journey of life. But before you strike at grace and love, what must you do in order to achieve that? How would you go about it, getting grace and love? How do you transcend these problems which you are facing in order to get grace and love? Swami's call to the humankind on the planet is to fill it with the light of Prema, that is love. To fill it with the light of Prema. The express implication of Swami is every human being remake himself. Remake himself. So what does remake imply? Remake would require an earnest effort of the devotee, earnest effort by the devotee to realign your body, spirit, and mind so that you are in tandem with the 5 human values which are inherent in you. You're born with it. And these 5 human values are the precious gems which Swami very often talks about, which you own, are in you. And they are Satyam, truth, Dharma, righteousness, Shanti, peace, Prema, which is love, and Ahimsa, which is non-violence. In Satya Sai Speaks, Volume 1, at page 45, the impact of the human values is explained. Swami says, wherever Satya, Dharma, Shanti, and Prema are emphasized in whatever religion or language, by whichever he may be, there we have Sanatana Dharma, or internal universal religion. In other words, if you have love, if you have these 5 values, you will be able to unfold and flow with the internal universal religion, Sanatana Dharma. So long as man is capable of Prema and Dharma, Swami says, will exist, do not doubt it. When that Prema is fixed on the Lord, your mental makeup will slowly and steadily undergo a revolutionary change. Then man will share in the sorrows and joys of his fellow beings. Thereafter, he contacts the very source of the bliss that is beyond the temporary gains and losses of this world. Prema, divine love, directed to the Lord, is called bhakti, devotion. And bhakti is the easiest of all the paths to realize this goal. The Swami here says that with Prema, your mental makeup will slowly change and undergo a revolutionary change, complete change. So this must be earnestly followed. And you should develop that love. And you should light up the love within you in order for you to reach that source of power. And once you reach it, sorrows and joys of his fellow beings, and man will share in the sorrows and joys, that you become dharmic. Does remake mean that every human being is required to focus only on one's spiritual development, disregarding one's karmic duties and obligations? What Swami meant resounds to the fact that every individual in his or her journey of life has to discharge his or her karmic responsibilities while making spiritual development. So it's twinfold. Life is a twinfold journey. The twinfold journey is you must discharge your karmic duties, but while discharging your karmic duties, the path Swami wants you to do is that you should not become a slave to karma, and that you should not get into bodily desires, that you should be making yourself pave your way through spiritual development so that you will become more and more attached to the divine, and at the same time, complete your karmic duties. How beautiful it sounds. Swami advocates the path to discharge the karma be linked to spiritual development in the journey of his or her existence in this world.
Yeah, so here we tell a story. It's a Chinnakatha by Swami. It's linked to how Brother Suresh last week you shared about Vyasa's despondence at the end of the Kurukshetra war as an example for the conclusion for Sister Girja's presentation. So, and I saw this story, I thought it's a good way to share, a good story to share for this topic. It's about how a spider teaches Vyasa a lesson. Jnana, gives jnana to Vyasa. It said during that Kurukshetra battle, which lasted 18 days, Vyasa had was despondent, completely despondent, for the contestants were both of his lineage. He could not cast his eyes on the fratricidial carnage. Both cousins parties are killing each other. One day he was so overcome by remorse that he hastened beyond the blood-soaked plain where another day's holocaust was about to begin. Hurrying along, he saw a spider scurrying forward on the ground. "Why so fast?" he asked. The spider ran off the road, climbed up an anthill by its side, and from that height it replied, "Do you not know that Arjuna's war chariot is about to pass this way? If I'm caught under its wheels, I'm done. Vyasa laughed at this reply. He said, "What? No one will cry if you die. The world suffers no loss if you're killed. You leave no vacuum when you disappear from this world." The spider was touched to the quick by this insult and was shaking with rage. It exclaimed, "How is that? You are a bloated sage. How much ego have you got? You feel that if you die, it will be a great loss, whereas I will not be missed at all? I too have a wife and children whom I love. I too have a home and a store full of food. I too cling to life with as much tenacity as you folk. I have hunger, thirst, grief, pain, joy, delight, and the agony of separation from kith and kin. The world is as much in me as for you, as in and for human beings and others." Vyasa hung his head in shame and moved in silence, muttering, "Sa manavam etat pashubir narani." For man and beast, insect and worm, these things are common. But he told himself, inquiry into the ultimate, yearning for beauty, truth and goodness, awareness of the underlying unity, these attributes of wisdom are the unique treasures for mankind, and went on his way. So do we want to stop and ask any questions up to this point, or shall we continue?
Yeah, we can ask.
Yeah.
So what's the take-home message of the story, Spider and the Vyasa?
Spider had taught Jnana, gave Jnana to Vyasa on his karmic, the quest that he's supposed to actually make and not be so egoistic and proud of his abilities in the war field. The removing that chaff, that was the original question. So the chaff of ego had to be removed. And so that lesson was taught to Vyasa by this small spider.
Yeah. So the removal of the chaff is that sometimes it is happen. Everyone has that. So as we keep on increasing the level of consciousness, the higher intelligence looks at the lower aspects of life and discovers the chaff so that it can be removed. So every aspect of our life is it's like God, G-O-D. G-O-D means get out devil. So discover the weaknesses, discover the lower impulses, and keep on eradicating until we reach this level of perfection. So this chaff is within us itself. Every one of us got, and even the high, can you imagine Vyasa wrote everything, and how can, Adi, Guru, this, that, and everything else, and yet he has that chaff. Even the highest of the highest also have this. So it gives us an immediate alertness. My God, if that is the case, then how much we must be having, how much negativity. So we must continuously have a self-audit inspection, SAI, self-audit inspection within ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes, good point. Very good point about the self-audit.
Another way of doing the self-audit also is to check with the family members. So let's say you have relations with daughter, son, wife, and then occasionally you can just check with them and say, what do you think? You say anything that we need to improve? You may get a long list.
Yeah, long list from the wife.
Okay.
Okay, so we continue.
But what we are doing here is we are looking at spiritual development, which will be used in the course of the journey of life. Journey of life means that we are passing through life with our karma, and then how we are going to overcome these karmic problems or issues, whether we would like to go with the worldly desires, whether you would like to be moving with self-conceit, whether you would like to load yourself with anger and temper, be temperamental, whether you would like to cheat yourself and make your wealth, or would you prefer Swami's advice of developing your character, developing a nature so that you become more attached to higher values, and higher values can only come if you plow yourself through spiritual paths. Why? Swami says, this is because when individual is caught by the dragnet of worldly desires and sense gratifications, the journey of life of the individual be affected by waves of insatiable desires like lust, greed, anger, conceit, deception, and hatred, from mind agitations, anxiety, suspicion, jealousy, and being egocentric. You'll be caught like as if fishes are caught in the dragnet like that. You're caught by the mind's behavior simply because you did not pay attention to spiritual development. It is Swami's direction that everyone in his or her karmic journey should remake his karmic journey, remake their karmic journey with its daily challenges, whatever the challenges we face daily, arising from worldly desires, using the 5 human values to resolve the karmic challenges and to experience contentment and consciously experience spiritual development. So this paragraph helps you to think that if we were to involve or engage ourselves with the 5 human values and find our path, you are gaining higher ground. You will not be caught by all the worldly desires and negative issues. Each thought of an individual is pursued with intellect. Each thought must be pursued with the intellect. There is vichara, deep inquiry, viveka, discretion, to abide by the 5 human values, and with vairagya, dispassion, detachment in the journey of life, whatever the karma of the person. He could be a beggar, he could be a doctor, or he could be somebody even higher. He has got to live by using these instruments or these tenets given by Swami in order to progress with his life, progress with spiritual development. Nothing will obstruct your goal for self-realization. For as long as your body, spirit, and mind are one with Swami, Swami is guiding you. Therefore, you invoke these 5 human values and you will pass that way. Swami will be guiding you. And you will be always aligned with Swami. Life will be smooth sailing for you. Smooth sailing means you will be following your conscience, and that will help you all the way. This implies the need for spiritual development or spiritual attachment. Next, please. Special value. Who can do this? This is only a human body. Human body has got all the abilities. Now, what does Shirdi Baba say of this? Special value of the human body in Sri Satchariya, the wonderful life and teachings of Shirdi Sai Baba by Govind Raghunath Dalbokar alias Hemant Pant. And this is what he says. As we all know, 4 things are common to all the creatures. All the creatures with food, sleep, fear, and sexual union. In the case of man, he is endowed with a special faculty, knowledge, with the help of which he can attain God vision, which is impossible in any other species. It is for this reason that gods envy the human species to be born as men on earth so as to get their final deliverance. Final deliverance here being self-realization. Some say that there is nothing worse than the human body. which is full of mucus, spelgum, and dirt, and which is subject to decay, disease, and death. This is true to a certain extent. But in spite of these drawbacks and defects, the special value of the human body is that man has got the capacity to acquire knowledge. It is only due to the human body, on account of it, that one can think of the perishable and transitory nature of the body itself and of the world, and have aversion for sense enjoyments, and can discriminate between the real and the unreal, and thus attain God vision. So these would be the discriminatory powers which you have. Only you can do it. Can an animal do it? Man has got that quality, that knowledge, and that will be his rudder, his guide. So if we reject or neglect the body because it is filthy, we lose the chance of God vision. And if we indulge it and run after sense enjoyments, we go to hell. This clearly says that you have a choice, and you got to make the choice. And our choice is being taught by Swami, and Swami is our guiding light to say that we have got to develop spiritual attachment, spiritual development in order to find our path. The proper course for us is to pursue. To pursue is the following. The body should be neither neglected nor morally cuddled. You cannot neglect the body, nor can you use it for purposes which can cause damage to your body, but should be properly cared for, just as a traveler on a horseback takes care of his horse on the way till he reaches his destination and returns home. Thus, the body should ever be used or engaged to attain God vision or self-realization, which is the supreme end of life. So this explains the importance of the human body, and we have all the potential within us in order to find the love and the grace and the guidance of Swami to take us to higher levels. What are the hurdles one has to surpass for spiritual progress in the journey of life? Swami mentions in what was read at the beginning by Sister Tara, Swami mentions of such crucial hurdles in the above passage, namely, one, the annihilation of the ego and the dissolution of desires can be made here and now. Do it here and now. Remove the ego and the dissolution of the desires, the worldly desires. According to Dalai Lama, annihilation of the ego means annihilation of the negative ego. Negative ego is what has been referred earlier, like conceit, anger, lust, greed, deceit. These are all negative ego. That's got to be removed. Swami's clear call from his message above is conquer the desires. Conquer the desires to be free. To be free. The little I feeling, vasanas, fancies, fanciful thoughts, vikaras, passions, raga, attachment, and dvesha, aversion. Swami's injunction, direction to humanity is fill your heart with the light of Prema, so that the evil qualities of hate, greed, conceit find no place therein. So right from the beginning, we are talking about drawing Swami's attention for love and grace. You have to fill your heart. You have to do it with the light of Prema in order to remove these negative qualities, which are a hindrance to the journey of life, in order to reach this path, these highest goals of life. how to address the above issues to remake your journey of life. How do you address? See, the process of separating bad thoughts from the healthy ones within you is like the process of winnowing the paddy grains from the husk, and or like separating the dry outer coverings from the grains. Winnowing. We would have seen paddy fields of those days where the farmers during the harvesting season would do winnowing. They use manual methods with a big tray like, where they used to, on a windy day, they will winnow it, getting the grains on one side and all the others which are not necessary, the residue, it will be thrown out. In Satyasai, Volume 1, Swami declared, the mind must become the servant of the intellect. Servant, not the slave of the senses, Swami says. It must discriminate and detach itself from the body. Like the ripe tamarind fruit, which becomes loose inside the shell. It must be unattached to this shell. This casement called body. So the body is supposed to be like a shell, and our inside must be detached. Our whatever attachment, bodily attachment must be detached, so that we become like the tamarind fruit which is ripe. The tamarind fruit is in Malay, they call it asam jawa, tamarind fruit, like the one which is shown in the picture. Once it's ripe, the shell will be there, but inside you can just feel the tamarind inside. You can just shake it up and you can listen. Strike a green tamarind fruit with a stone and you cause harm to the pulp inside. But strike the ripe fruit and see what happens. It is the dry rind that falls off. Nothing affects the pulp or the seed. The ripe aspirant does not feel the blow of fate or misfortune. Whatever the challenges that faces the life problems throws or passes, or you have to pass, you have got to face it with faith and a strong will. It is the unripe man who is wounded by every blow, and he may fall. So for him to get up, for him to have the light to continue, he must have the will to continue and follow the path where he preserves himself to the path values, and he develops himself to such a state that he has the love and grace of Swami accompanying him 24 hours. Then he will not be affected by any misfortune along the journey of life. Such must be your faith and love.
Should we just stop here because this is Swami's sentences? Shall we just discuss this first?
Yes.
Yeah. A process of separating bad thoughts from healthy ones. That's the removing of the chaff, removing the chaff, the process of winnowing paddy grains from the husk. So we've seen how when you use that morum, what do you call that, sieve to winnow, the husk will fly away in the wind, and only the necessary things remain in that sieve. So anybody got anything to say about that? Swami is talking about, I guess, the removing of the negative tendencies and negative qualities within us, which was discussed just now. And the tamarind fruit, I didn't realize actually, when you try to open a tamarind fruit that's still green, the pulp is all attached to the skin and you can't take it out of the shell. It's just a wasted fruit. But you allow it to ripen and then only try to break the skin, very neatly the whole some bit comes out with that whole comes out neatly from the shell. Not affected. The pulp and the seed are not affected. So, anybody has anything to say on this?
Yeah, this is actually a very important point because basically this is our driving force. Since all of us are keen to progress spiritually, we need to begin to realize how this is to happen. See, many of us, we can have our negative qualities, but we don't know it's negative. We are living with it. We can only know it is something negative only if we follow what Swami said. What is that? Follow the master, face the devil. Fight till the end, finish the game. This follow the master is one way of surfacing all the negativity from us. Follow the master means involved in the mission work, continue to do what he wants to do, and just keep on following like that aggressively. You'll find that all the stains slowly start to surface. Then we know, hey, this is negative. Yeah, this is what I'm doing. So sometimes we get into what we call blind spots. We don't know that we have it. We don't know that we are living in it. Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, when they finished the war in Mahabharata, when they finished the war, these Pandavas took them, and Pandavas gave them home and all that, and they looked after the uncle. This was their own relation. So after the war, though they were the real perpetrators of the war, after the war, they looked after them, and they were looking after them and always gave really homage and all that. And the rest continued to live like that with them in after the war. It was only until Vidura came by, and Vidura is very dharmic and very justice type of person. He came and visited the Rashtra, and he said, "Hello, what are you doing, man? Why you're living like this?" He said, "No, they are looking after me very well." Yes, they're looking after you very well because that is their nature to look after very well. You're already old and you're still going around rolling in luxury, and you're still in this world. You should be now thinking about God. You should be struggling to achieve something higher than just living like that. So when Vidura explained all these things to Dhritarashtra, he actually at the end of the day began to realize, my God, I'm living like this. There must be some higher truth. Therefore, that night, both of them, both wife and husband and wife, slipped out of the castle, and Vidura took them and went away. And then they continued their journey, and it is when they had their own experience. They didn't want to remain there where they are. So realization for something higher cannot come unless it is provoked, unless some instigation takes place. So that is why this is mission work, going continuously doing something positive, continuously doing something for the higher good will surface out all this negativity. The chaff comes out. Otherwise, you'll never know. For example, if you're involved in some program and you're just working, suddenly you'll find the ego coming out, our own ego. Yeah, why is this coming out now? Unless we provoke it, it won't come out. So this is a very important process in our spiritual evolution. Sitting down quietly and remaining where we are, we may not get it. It is only when we trigger ourselves to levels and limits that we begin to see who we are and what we are capable of. Then the masks will start to fall off. The real nature of ours will start to appear. So that's what face the devil is. The devil can never be faced if you're not following the master. And this is a beautiful four-step that Baba gave. And this is how you get the chef more apparent.
Yeah. I marvel at the sages of those days who, just looking at a tamarind and they can come up with a, yeah, and it's the same as that other mantra, Trayambaka mantra, where Urvarukam Viva Bandhanat, from falling off. Okay, nothing else, we can continue.
So how do you internalize the dharmic thought process to experience Sai's ever-present grace and love all the time? When you have separated the chaff of bad thoughts, emotions from the grain of healthy ones, using your intellect, discretion, and detachment, based on the 5 human values of Satyam, Dharmam, Shanti, Prema, and Ahimsa, you will experience contentment. Then be anchored with devotion, dedication, and discipline. This is how you would internalize. You cannot have that feeling of contentment if you do not have the devotion, the earnest devotion, the dedication and discipline in order to pass through or engage yourself with these 5 principles for any situation in your daily life. That is your personal sadhana. Nobody tells you to do that. It is your own will, for your own sadhana, and for you to pass this journey in order to make sure that you finally win the love and grace of Swami. To continue to have that devotion, you recite the name, recite a Namavali, you are comfortable, to move with the divine presence. You can choose any simple mantra. Shri Baba says, just say Sai, 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 and he is there with you all the time. For Swami, you can just mention Swami's mantra, Om Sri Sai Ram, all the time, and then you will find that contentment, and many things you might just experience something which is out of the normal. Such was the case with one devotee in Butterworth. It's a simple ordinary man, simple village kampong house, and in his house, miracles were taking place. I asked him, what special prayers do you do? What meditation do you do? Do you get up early morning, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock? No, sir, I'm too tired for all that. What I do is, wherever I am, at the time when I'm driving, I just recite this mantra, Om Sri Sai Ram. Wherever I am, I just recite Om Sri Sai Ram, Om Sri Sai Ram. And then this is what happens in my house. Oranges, apples, honey, kumkum, vibhuti, everything gets materialized and moves from one table to the other. And the whole house is like as if it's highly spiritualized. And it's a special comfort for them and for all people who visited the house. So recite Swami's mantra in order to have the comfort of Swami within you. Offer all your thoughts to the divine within, for your intellect, discretion, and detachment to result in decisions from the grace of the divine. If you offer your thoughts to the divine, and then you will be able to make the right choice. How that happens, we will shortly come to that. But that is how you get the momentum, that feeling. It must become part of you, so that you are in that comfort zone with Swami. And that thoughts which seems to be hindering you, when you offer, it becomes less problematic because the decision will be aligned with Swami, like as a Swami is guiding you. And then you will make a discretion, and you will also go through the process of detachment to get the right decisions. Why detachment? Because it is from those past enjoyable experiences which you have had, which does not want you to give up. But now, for the fact that you're offering your thoughts to Swami, you get detached, and then you find your path. So this is grace. You will enjoy it when you practice it and when you see the results. Like this person I was telling you about, Munyandi in Butterworth. Listen to your conscience. The whole thing about getting all these thoughts, bad thoughts away, the winnowing process is to clear yourself off from lots of detachment, and you're not using the right discretion. Now you have done that, then it becomes very clear that you are able to listen to your conscience. You are following the conscience, and conscience is the right path. Conscience is the voice of God. Follow your conscience. You have done your job and you will be able to do that. Sometimes in silence, and sometimes you are in a crowd, you cannot do that. And follow your conscience. Even if the rest of the world is not following, you follow your conscience. You are with Swami. Next, please.
Yes, agree with that. Agree with the follow the conscience. Even the rest of the world not following, you must follow the conscience. Agree very much.
Yes, brother. How do you internalize? Shri Baba explains as follows. Before the senses, the mind and intellect enjoy their objects. First, he, who is he? Shri Baba should be remembered. And if this is done, it is in a way by making an offering to him. So every thought, you first remember Swami. Swami's guidance. The senses, etc., can never remain without their objects. But if those objects are first offered to the Guru, the attachment for them will naturally vanish. Shri Baba says this. Swami also says that. The senses can never remain without the objects, whatever it is. You see, if you are thinking of something sensual, your mind will just stick to that. If you're thinking of something else, like reading a book, it'll be there. If you're thinking of food, it'll be there. What kind of a food? All this depends on the senses. So senses are always attached to their objects. But if you get any such thoughts for food or something sensual or other interfering thoughts comes in, you first offer it to the Guru, the attachment for that vanishes, and you're not just looking at Swami, and then you will follow what is the right path. That is a decision-making process which Swami wants us to inculcate within ourselves so that it becomes part of our character for the remaining life. You become a new person. You have remade yourself. This is remaking, transforming, transformation. Make the transformation within you. Nobody is going to do it for you. You have to do it. Your faith, because you are going to get the grace and love of Swami. This way, all the vrittis, subtle thoughts regarding desire, anger, avarice, that's greed, etc., should first be offered and directed to the Guru. And if this practice be followed, the Lord will help you in eradicating all the vrittis. Simple. That's what Swami says.
How is the method? The method to offer these senses?
Well, you are supposed to be. You are now. Say. Let us say you are in a house or you're driving and something. You stop somewhere. There'll be a lot of people. It's a crowd, and you are just yourself. You see, you are just yourself, a clean, good, Sai devotee. To get a crown for yourself, you got to experiment within you. I mean, you should make this as a sadhana. By whatever thought which comes when you make a certain decision, like the food you want to eat, you offer it to Swami first. The important thing is that is a day when you're supposed to be a vegetarian. If you're not a vegetarian, you want to be a vegetarian, but you're now tempted to eat something else, you offer it to Swami. Once you offer it to Swami, a lot of feelings will come to you as to whether that's the right course of action or not you're going to take. And then you suddenly feel the Swami would be happier if you will take something vegetarian rather than the non-veg. If that is a debate which you're having within you. And finally you settle down, everybody else is having non-veg food. You take the veg food. You settle for it. You enjoy the food. You have already said your food mantra. You have spiritualized the food. You have taken the food. Before you take the food, you already said that Samasta Loka Swahino Bhavantu mantra. For all the others who are eating, you have spiritual the whole place. You spiritualize yourself. You have had that prasadam, which is the food which you're eating, and then you leave. And you go and sit in a car and you drive. Just see how you feel about it. You are the Swami. See, Swami is accompanying you. He's in your bodies, accompanying you. And you have sensed, you have done this to get that Swami within you to be always there. It's glowing. You feel much lighter, but certainly blissful. That you did not fall to any temptation on that day. It could be a special day for which you wanted to go, because when you are in a crowd, you can make a decision, irrational decision, because everybody is doing, so you also want to do, say, never mind, today is all right, tomorrow I'll be a vegetarian, that kind of thing. But now you have offered it and a decision came to you like that. Sometimes you can go through halfway also. While you're eating and things like that, you might want to take out, say, the egg or other things which is that, put it outside, and then you eat the balance of the food because you don't want to waste it. And you do this after saying the food mantra. That is also all right. Oh, that's also all right. The idea is you're getting closer to Swami. And the next time, you don't want to do that. You don't want to throw away food. You become more attached to the correct way which Swami likes, advocated all these days, and you go for a thorough vegetarian food like that. So that is one example. The other thing is, say, for instance, you are in the house and there's a family quarrel, and it needs to be settled some way. And if you talk on the side of your mother, your brother gets angry. If you talk on the side of your brother, then your mother is left without any help. So how are you going to do it? So you got to be very, you just have a prayer and you bring in Swami, and then you ask Swami to listen to what you're talking, and in silence you sit down and you recite the prayers, and both your mother and your brother see you in that state of contentment or prayer, they will just subside. Such is the power of Swami's grace. So like this, you got to be aware that you got to offer these thoughts first to Swami. The thoughts are positive or negative, you offer it to Swami. Whatever thing it is, don't be shy, just offer it to Swami. Because you got to pass through the age. Siddhi Baba says, it is the mind. The mind will do what it is going to do. There's nothing you can do about it. Let the mind do it. Important thing is, don't act on what the mind tells you to do. That is Siddhi Baba's way. So you got to manage that part of it, so that you come out of such thoughts. You have renewed it through the help of Swami. You are now following a direction which invites Swami for further love and grace to accompany you all the way journey of life. Many other instances which you can practice, sometimes in silence, sometimes you can talk, sometimes you can write, and that way you have more or less moderated your mind to be like that. Of course, all these must be accompanied by your morning meditation and your divine way of life, which you are practicing. All these will come into play. Then you follow the 9 code of conduct. You have followed that as well. So now, that doesn't mean that you are perfected. You have not a self-realized soul, but you will have this kind of interferences coming, but you are fully aware how to overcome it, and that is by offering it first to Swami. First thoughts. Once Swami comes in, there's one paragraph I remember while we were going through the book on Jnana Vahini. I remember very early days where it says, you mentioned the word Shiva. the mind just gets silent. It doesn't disturb. Like that, when you offer this food and you give it to Swami first, the mind just keeps at a low level. It doesn't come out in order to distract or disturb you. So that is very important. That is very important. The offering and getting connected with Swami all the time, whatever you do. You don't have to tell the whole world. This is between you and Swami. This is your sadhana. This is what we have taught. You are a Sai devotee. You are going to be the message of Swami. How are you going to do that? You have got to get into this beautiful values set by Swami. And then slowly what happens? You will become an example to your family, your children, and everybody. And it will be a wonderful world for all of them because of what you have become. Then the object that is fit to be enjoyed will be shunned. And in this way, our vicious habits, our vices will disappear and our character will improve. That's what I've been telling you just now. See? So that is how we got to go. The vicious habits will, all kinds of habits. First habit. We don't like to go through all the negative habits one goes through, but it's natural for every human being to go through. But they are supposed to be vicious habits. This is the time for you to remember, however vicious, you offer it first to Swami. Offer it. Vices, offer it to Swami. And that will disappear, assured, 100%. If it repeats, tomorrow try again, or the next week try again, and it will go off. It must be connected with your diet, the vegetarian food, and then your sattvic thoughts, and then your morning, whatever you've been doing in order to prepare yourself for the whole day. Because after the morning meditation, it says clearly, you're carrying the light of love with you. That's the last line there. The morning meditation, light meditation. You're carrying the light of love with you the whole day. Where is the love? This is the love. You're going to practice that. It's very important that you practice it without sharing what you are practicing with anybody. No need to share, because if you share, Swami says, the other person might bring in a thought or something, and you might get negative again. Rather, Swami says, you talk to him. Talk to Swami is in you. Talk to him. And that is one of the 9 forms of worship given by Swami Sakyam. Friendship. Talk to him and he will become closer and closer to you. Closer and closer. No need to discuss this with anybody. First, you try and achieve it by yourself. Later, you can lead others how to overcome these problems. By the way, as you change, many people who are seeing you change will also change in their own way, but change has taken place. Then for this change to take place, later you can connect them on the right technique of doing it. This is not just for us, it's for everybody, but it is the right way. This is the right way. Then love for the Guru will grow and pure knowledge will sprout up. Once again, then the object that is not fit to be enjoyed will be shunned, and in this way our vicious habits, vices will disappear and our character will improve. Character is the most important thing in life. Character. Then love for the Guru. Once you have the character, love for the Guru will grow and pure knowledge will sprout up. Pure knowledge will sprout up. That is how you're going to transcend the path. How you're going to transcend the koshas. How you're going to get into meditation. All that. Then what do you mean by sattvic thoughts? You are able to self-examine, self-audit, and tell you, oh, this is not sattvic, this is rajasic, this is what I cannot do, this is what, this internal debate will go. This is the Mahabharata within you, which is taking place and Swami is watching. And because you have offered it to Swami, Swami will guide you. So you see, like Arjuna, we have Swami with us, guiding us. But we have to connect with Swami. When this knowledge grows, the bondage of body consciousness, we are the body, bondage of body consciousness. We are attached to the body, attached to the body, attached to the body, the material. We go to university and study, and then we come out with degrees, and then we get a good job, and then we fight, and then we get a higher job and a higher salary, and goes on and on. We mix with all kinds of people in clubs here, there, everywhere, and then we get a set idea of how to live, and we think that is the correct way of living, not forgetting that 3/4 of our life has been wasted because we never entered spiritual development. Awareness for that is zero, because the bodily attachments outweighs spiritual values. Now, Swami says, when this knowledge grows, the bondage for body consciousness will snap, and our intellect will be merged in spirit consciousness. We are the spirit. So we are getting closer and higher and higher and higher. And then you are part of our group. Our group means our Sai brothers and sisters, not here throughout the world. And I don't know, but I like to look at Sai devotees in silence and see the glow in them. A lot of Sai devotees have glow in them. And that glow comes from their love. And their fact, Swami is in them. Swami is in you too. But they have made an effort in order to make sure that the glow is always there. And maybe it's because of the way they have conducted themselves the whole day. And that must be the way. And now, in addition to that, we're talking about offering whatever we think to Swami first in order to get a better connection, so that the bondage of body consciousness will snap. See? And then snap means we'll get detached. And then we go on more towards our higher values. Of course, all the time, using our intellect. Then we shall get bliss and contentment. So this is an important passage on the procedure of how to go about it. Next page. Okay, now this is what our group members had provided meticulous support. See, Sister Girija strongly feels satsang is the easiest way to rid our mind of most impartation. That is another way. That is another way. It's also recommended in the 9 forms of worship. That you should sit down and talk, discuss about whatever religious issue it is. And then as you do, you get ideas, and then it provides more than knowledge. Because there is also a book in Dhyana Vahini which says that a person who keeps on reading, nothing but reading, and goes on reading, and is never giving up the book's reading. The Dhyana Vahini condemns that. You're not going anywhere with knowledge. It's not going to carry you across the samsara. So knowledge is important. Then you have got to practice it. The practical part is very important. Bearing in mind that Swami is with you all the time. We don't have to remind ourselves, but we need to be reminded, because there's a tendency to forget that Swami is with us. So we are the whole idea now to get the purification from the process of knowing is to get Swami in the central position, so that he is always there helping in this winnowing process. And then you will get the right directions. Selfless seva, Sister Girija says, done with faith and dedication is another way. Very important. Seva is another form of worship. Selfless seva. But this is selfless. So you don't look like you work without expectations. You don't work for reward. You just do your seva with love. You go to the hospital, you visit the patients, you do it with love. You don't ask for expectations. You pray for the patient. Maybe you give vibhuti if he's a Hindu, or as long as he's not a Muslim. And then you do that selfless, and then you go. Sometimes you even tear, you see the patient in that kind of a situation. and you tell Swami, Swami, you asked me to come here and I'm doing this. What am I, Swami? I'm nothing. You are the one who has got the will, the power, the everything in you. Please, Swami, I'm your instrument. Help me in front of my eyes to make this person relieve of this problem, Swami. He's got wife, children, and they're all dependent. And it'd be great if he comes out of the hospital fully recovered. And then you don't shout, you just talk to yourself, to Swami on this. And then you feel happy, you know. So selfless seva done with faith and dedication is another way we can rid ourselves of the 6 enemies within our mind. The 6 enemies, we have been talking the 6 enemies during the Navaratri, where we always say at the end of the 9 days, we have that war, and then we see Durga Amma coming out, and she is the winner. She is the victor of destroying the enemies. The real enemies is not anything outside. The enemies are within us. So we have got to remove these enemies. And this whole process here we are talking about is by being devoted to our aims, with devotion, and you got to do it with dedication, discipline, and you got to use these very important instruments. Swami has taught how to use your discretion, the vichara, your intelligence to probe. Then you also have got to be detach yourself, the vairagya. Use these instruments in order to come out of these enemies. That for sure you will succeed because 1, you're a Sai devotee. 2, as a Sai devotee, you're connected with Swami. Number 3, you feel that this is the sadhana you want because you have a goal. With Swami thinks every one of us is entitled, and we have to get that. And the momentum depends on you, but he never says that you got to go fasting 24 hours and things like that, and you got to do it in the next 2 days. You have your own time, all the time, making sure that you are full of love and you have the character in you. Sister Sarah is contended that too much of attachment to worldly things is the problem. Yes, that is true. Too much of attachment to worldly things is a problem. And this happens in any family, if you go across. Family is a very important unit. So the head of the family is a problematic person because of his own rise and fall. He has acquired all kinds of ways of being successful. And the success he has come up there is through drinks. Success has come up there is by meeting people with such negative habits. And he has become a victim of all that. He's successful with his job because he's getting good money. He comes home and he has got 5 children, a wife, and they're all looking at him like God. And he is there having all those habits, and the children are exposed and growing, watching these habits. What kind of a children are you going to have in the end? What happens when they are 14, 15, 16, 17? All those habits will just click into them. So, very important. So, how do we decondition that? It falls on the mother. And maybe some relatives and a very important group of people are the teachers. They will have a lot of problems, but can be done. What happens if the father sacrifices himself, endures the hardship, goes in the direction of spiritual development, and works very hard in his job with devotion, dedication, discipline, and comes out tops in his job? And at the same time, he is an example to his family for his love and affection. That man is God to the family. So you see, he becomes everything to the family, and the children are going to prosper. And he's going to prosper. It will go at a multiplier rate. You know why? Because the mind becomes activated by that source of power coming from the parents, of the cleverness, all that becomes an influence, and they themselves have got this intellect in them, and they're getting into the right direction with minimum bad habits. So it's a very nice family, ideal family, if they have such a father and mother are there to help them as examples. They follow, have a good altar, they pray together, and they serve sometimes. I know of one family in Penang, every Saturday, from the first child and to the last, they got 3 sons. Every Saturday, they will have a picnic in a temple in Penang, a small temple. Father, mother will cook food and all. They'll go in the morning and they'll come back in the evening. Lunch all day. They pack lunch. What do? They clean up the temple, they drain, they pick the litter, pull the grass, stretch the fences, and make it as clean as possible. Every week they do it for years and years and years. Maybe about 20 years, they've been doing it. But one thing I noticed is this man is an electrical engineer, and his wife is a housewife, formerly a nurse. And the 3 children, they are what you call amazing boys with very good intellect. You see, it's not surprising because that's how the regression curve works. You see, it just goes along that path where the influence is. You see, along that path that it has been created. They can see something moving on and on and on, going forward. That's the beauty of being an example. So you have to have that. So we don't want, we cannot avoid the worldly habits, worldly attachments, but we are saying that this has got to change because there are people who have succeeded in life with much devotion, discipline, and all that. And they, if you go care to talk with them, they have got these good habits in them, and we want the good habits to come into you. So if you transform yourself, that's one way, by association with good people. Direct way is you associate yourself with Swami's values in the Sai Center, and then you practice these extra qualities in order to find the love and the love and the grace of Swami coming to you. You after this, you go on this for about, say, 1 month, and then after that you sit down and you sing your bhajans and all that, and then you before you sleep, you just say the Gayatri mantra for a short while. Morning you get up, you do the light meditation, and you do all these, you find that your aura is developing. Your aura is developing, and then you are able to get close with Swami, like as if Swami is talking with you. You can feel that. You can feel that a lot of decisions are made, which doesn't come before, but now it comes. Why? Very difficult to explain. There's only one thing we can explain, and that is you have developed a passion for Swami. You develop passion, Swami, and you remain like that. You sustain yourself with those values. So you're one with Swami. You haven't reached a stage where you can, but you know, like, I want to share with you something else. You see, you go out now, you go out of town. Early morning, you pray and all that, and then you go out, and then while you're out, anything can happen, isn't it? Or anything can happen now. There's no assurance. But you pray. So Swami guides you, then you drive, you get your things done, you come back. What must you do? You say thank you, isn't it, to Swami? That's gratitude. Gratitude is something which it's a new habit. It's a habit. You get. Say, talk to Swami with lots of gratitude for the nice, safe trip you brought you back. And then you walk into your house, you close the door, at the doorstep before you enter the house. If Swami is really with me and is helping me all the while, I sure want to thank Swami. I will bend down every day, every time I go out. At the doorstep, I will put my hands on Swami's feet. see Swami's feet and say, thank you very much for coming with me, Swami. And then we'll open the door and we both will go in. That kind of a feeling. It's a nice feeling to feel that you are with Swami. Why I'm saying this is, you feel the association is good, lest you forget. The mind can take you off. So you have to do some things to yourself where the attachment is always there for Swami, and you will think about it. You don't have to tell this to the whole world. Like I always say, this is personal to you, personal to you. So you will find an answer. And like the way I'm enjoying this for myself, I feel that young people who are very good in their work, the Bali class students and those who are the young adults, these people, for all the shine and good character through the stormy years between 16 and 18 to 21, they passed through that period singing bhajans, doing seva, doing all that, repeating the mantra, Namavali, helping their parents, going and doing the seva here and there. They are much better than me. So much better. That's why I say this is a wonderful family. We have got all these values and they're all growing. They're all growing. Everybody is growing. And this must be treasured in order to get the love and grace which Swami has promised, that he will come to you and he'll be with you and he's there with you. Brother Vadivelu was pragmatic. What did he say? When he said that, it's very difficult to let go of all the worldly bindings. Very true. Very true what he said. Very difficult to let go. But now, what we have just heard here is Swami has told us how to let go. So you got to put to practice. You just can't. You can't just wait for things to happen. It will happen when you put to practice. It will happen when you put to practice. And if it doesn't happen, you got to bring it up and talk to a friend, and we would sit down and have a chat and go through it and make sure that this thing works for you. It must work. Why? Because you are a Sai devotee. Two, because you have done a lot of things in your home or somewhere until at this age, and there's a little bit more which you need to connect, which is very easy. And that this whole topic we are talking about is that how to be detached with those worldly things in order to be more focused, Swami, and in order to pass through his journey quite happily. It's all supposed to be minus the bad habits and the good habits. So you must get into the shaft. Okay, in conclusion, what happens? Conclusion, let's put it this way. An easy way, it's all about remake. Have you remade? Do you realize the importance of remake? The importance of remake. You must not say hereafter, oh, my karmic problems, I cannot go do anything. My karma is like that. No, it's not. As I said earlier, the beggar or the king, he has got the karma. And they both will have the same make. What each has got to do is remake himself to make sure that you've passed through the life having these two things in mind, that you're born with the karma, and then those karmic issues in life, you got to labor yourself to come out of it. That's number one. And to do that, to labor yourself, you got to labor into spiritual values. And you come out clean so that you don't get stuck and you don't get trapped and you don't get dwarfed and you don't get laid out because of your attachment to such negative values. So you remake yourself. Transformation. This is transformation. You make yourself resolve the karmic issues in life and to progress in spiritual development at the same time. Let us be insulated. I believe this. Let us be insulated. We are glued. The whole body of us has got 5 values. Every part of it, the 5 values. Make sure it stands out very clearly in front of you, in you, around you, to take us across the samsara of life by always offering all our thoughts to Swami first. All our thoughts. First one. Because once you want to offer to Swami first, that means you have brought Swami into your mind. Now we want that. That is the sadhana. We want you to realize Swami is there. You got to put Swami there. All right. I know of one group of devotees, they will put a picture of their Swami, their Guru in front, and then they will eat their food in the restaurant. And while they're leaving the restaurant, they talk with that Swami of theirs. You see, they offer the food to him, they talk with him, and they enjoy the food, and they go, and during which time they have a connection. So I'm just telling you that this is how people are doing, and it's very important during this period of our journey that we stick to these good values in order to overcome greater issues which may be forthcoming. And that is the way Swami is going to guide us out of all our problems. By always offering all our thoughts to Swami first, who lives within our spiritual heart for his grace, for dharmic decisions. So all our thoughts, we want something dharmic, good decisions. Sometimes the answer is no, you can't be silent. Sometimes there will be a decision, but we pray to Swami for dharmic decisions, for us to continue with our dharma until we reach God realization.
Thank you, brother. I
Yeah,
think we covered the topic. So the last point you mentioned was to keep busy, like the young adults who, go do the 18 to 35s, keeping them busy removes all the chaff of the negative qualities. Okay, so yes, anything else? We shall finish. I think we finished with verse. I won't start the third one because it's no time, of course. So
One more, is it?
one more question to go. Yeah, we'll do it next week.
Yeah, next. It's only another 3 minutes more. Okay, so is that it? We have come to the end, isn't it? Huh?
Yeah, this is finished. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So thank you so much for it's been a very nice, exhaustive summary of what we have to learn. A lot of points that was made for us to think about. What's the third point you're emphasizing? Which point?
Karma of karma. Wait, I'll just share that slide. We can just take a look at it.
Can share the first slide also, the 5 elements. What's the 5 elements?
Which one?
The first one, the ahimsa and something.
Last week's one.
Yeah, the 5 things, the 5.
Oh, where is this?
Satyam.
Yeah, there is
5 values. Yeah, they're in the value which I've posted in the WhatsApp group. In case you are not in the WhatsApp group, I put in the chat box a link. You click that, then you join our WhatsApp group, and then we will post notification and videos there of the recording.
Okay, please. Please.
Yeah, you can join the group in the chat box.
Chat, okay.
Okay, and then so next week you'll conclude that part. Then and then after that you finish the lectures. You see, so we'll be starting on the Shivaratri, which is supposed to it's in February. We're supposed to have that. So we have got the study circle, and this time the Shivaratri, what we have done is taken one discourse and broken it up into smaller portions and go very deep. This Shivaratri is very powerful because the discourse is really on the mind and all those aspects. So there'll be a lot of beautiful things that will come out from here. So this will stretch us all the way until Guru Purnima. Then Guru Purnima, we will also have another study cycle coming from Guru Purnima. Okay, so till we meet again, thank you so much. Beautiful. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Sai Ram.
Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sai Ram. Thank
Sai Ram,
you.
brother. Sai Ram.
Hi Ram, thank you. Good night.
Sai Ram.
Hi Ram, thank you.